time to get our hearts and our minds ready. Ready for Jesus to come. The season called Advent helps us to prepare. Sometimes it's hard to get ready. Something is about to happen, and we're excited and busy. But that something has already happened, and already is happening, and already will happen again. So we can take the time. Now, the church tells time with color. And blue is the color for this time of year. A deep blue, like the sky just before dawn, as the world waits for the sun to rise and knows that it will. It's a blue full of hope and promise. Advent is like that blue. It's a time full of mystery so that we can get ready for the great mystery of Christmas. If we are too busy, we might miss the mystery. And sometimes it's hard to enter into the mystery. Sometimes it's hard to wait, and we want to skip ahead. But Advent helps us take time. During Advent, we measure time with a wreath. A circle of evergreen goes on and reminds us of life going on and on. During the first week of Advent, today, we share the light of the prophets. The prophets were people who felt so close to God that they could share messages from God with the people who were living in difficult times. The prophets pointed the way to great change. And they pointed the way to the town called Bethlehem, where something great would happen. Their messages were written on scrolls that even kings who didn't want to hear the messages could not avoid. The prophets waited and waited and waited, always full of hope. And we wait with hope like the prophets. I wonder if anyone here knows what it feels like to wait. What does waiting feel like? Or how do you feel when you wait? You can just shout it out or think about it. Anxious. We are part of that story. During the second week of Advent, we remember the prophets who point the way of hope. And we share the light of the Holy Family on their way to Bethlehem. a light of love and faith and preparation. Mary and Joseph had to travel a long, long way. Mary rode on a donkey just before their baby was about to be born. It was not a very comfortable journey. But they believed, they had faith and trusted God, and they prepared for this new child. And child was a gift of God's great love, and a child who they loved very, very much. When they finally made it to Bethlehem, Mary gave birth to that great gift of love and named him Jesus. We are loved by God, and we journey and prepare just like Mary and Joseph did on their way to Bethlehem. I wonder if anyone here has ever prepared for a long journey or for something difficult to happen. We are part of that story too. During the third week, here's our second light to measure time. The light of the prophets and their hope. The light of the Holy Family, of love and faith and preparation. During the third week of Advent, we again remember the hope and the love, and we share the light of the shepherds. This is the light of joy. The shepherds watched over their sheep every night. So this light reminds us of them and how they carefully took care of their sheep. And one night experienced something amazing. All of a sudden, a bright light surrounded them, and they were terrified. But an angel appeared and said, "Do not be afraid. We bring you good news, but a new king was born this day in Bethlehem." And as the shepherds sat with their sheep, more angels appeared, and they began singing the most beautiful song. And the shepherds were no longer afraid. They were filled with joy. And they went to Bethlehem too, to see the new baby. And after they had met him and heard this good news, they shared it with everyone that they met. And we can joyfully share the good news too. I wonder if anyone here has ever felt afraid and then been comforted. If you have ever felt like those shepherds, they were surprised by the great light. We are part of this story too. final week of Advent, we remember the hope and the love and the joy. And we share the light of the angels. This is the light of peace. The angels brought messages from God. They brought messages to Mary and Joseph, to the shepherds, to wise men. They shared words of comfort for all people on earth. Angels appeared in bright, shining light. They said, "Do not be afraid." They sang, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and peace to God's people on earth." I wonder if anyone here has ever heard or seen mysterious, wonderful, or amazing things. We are part of this story, too. We are part of the whole season of Advent, waiting and preparing that new kind of king born in Bethlehem, welcoming him into our hearts and preparing ourselves for him to come again. So I wonder how you might prepare this year, because the story does not have a beginning and an ending. Every year, we enter into the mystery again. Every year, we begin with Advent, and it continues and prepares us over and over